Nico Harrison, after doing a roundtable sit-down with only selected media personnel last week, where no recording devices were allowed, he then, a week later, did his exit interview with the Dallas Mavericks and had a few interesting things to say about the Luka trade.
You know, when Luka comes back to town, the Lakers game's happening, and you're standing there, and there's thousands of people chanting for you to be fired. That's an experience that none of us, no one's chanting for for us to lose our jobs. Why shouldn't you be fired?
Well, one, I think I've done a really good job here, and I don't think I can be judged by the injuries this year. You have to judge from totality, from beginning to end, and so I think I have a really good working relationship with Patrick. I think you add in Rick, the leadership that we have is really elite. And you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
You mentioned last week that Dirk is no longer around the franchise. Obviously, Luka isn't a part of the franchise anymore. And they're two figures that mean a lot to this organization and the fan base. Obviously, it's severed right now, just with everything that's happened. Like, I guess, how do you repair the relationship with the fan base going forward? Well,
one, you mentioned Dirk, and so it's important to say, like, he's the single most important figure to the franchise, so that's extremely important. I believe winning will help repair the relationship with the fans, and that's what we plan to do next year.
When you were kicking the idea of this trade around, and you had various scenarios planned in your head, did the anger and outrage from the fan base, has that exceeded what you were kind of planning for?
Yeah, good question. I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level, but really the way we looked at it is, if you're putting a team on the floor that's Kyrie, Clay, PJ, Anthony Davis, and Lively, we feel that's a championship caliber team, and we would have been winning at a high level, and that would have quieted some of the outrage. And so unfortunately we weren't able to do that, so it just continued to go on and on.
Do you understand how they feel? I think they want to know that you feel their pain about losing Luka. What can you say to them?
Well, when you have 20,000 people in this stadium chanting "Fire Nico," you really feel it. I mean, I use the word awesome, but not in a positive way. Like, you can really feel how they feel. So yes, I feel them. My job is to make decisions that I feel are in the best interest of this organization, and I got to stand by the decision, and some of them are going to be unpopular, and this was clearly one that's unpopular.
You said that Patrick Dumont initially laughed at you when you brought him the Luka trade. What did you say to convince him to approve it?
It wasn't really it wasn't really a laugh. It was more of a chuckle, but really it was just, I'd said it out of the blue, and then as we started talking more, I gave him reasoning behind it. And we're a very process-oriented organization, and everything we do is without emotion and goes through the lens of process. And so once we had those substantive discussions, then he saw the vision.
Did you say you did not foresee the fan reaction with the trade?
No, I said I did see the outrage, just maybe not to the degree of width that it actually ended up being. But I also think part of that is because we weren't able to put a team on the floor that was day in and day out winning. I think if we would have put the team that we intended to put on the floor, I think that would have quieted some of the outrage.
Luka recently did a sit-down with ESPN's Malika Andrews, and he was asked about a question that was posed to you last week about whether or not you believe that you could contend for championships with Luka at the centerpiece. You said defense wins championships. Luka was quoted as saying, "It's just sad the way he's talking right now. I never say anything bad about him, and I just want to move on." How do you react to that quote?
I feel the same way he does. Like, I've actually never spoken ill of Luka at all, and I just ready to move on with this team that we have.
Are you worried that the Luka trade is going to hurt you guys in free agent negotiation moving forward? It feels as though, and at least he's highlighted as much, that he feels as though maybe it really was done behind his back. Are you worried that moving forward, other players that come here might think, well, if I go there, what if they trade me without knowing? Is that a concern you guys have?
Not at all. when I first got this job here, I was told that the Dallas Mavericks, struggled to get free agents, and one of the things I said is we're going to get free agents. And it's not just about me, but you have Hall of Famer Jason Kidd. You have a bunch of amazing players that, Kyrie Irving, like people want to play with him. So I think we have a lot that's in our favor, so I don't worry about getting free agents. That's the least of my concerns.